Hello and welcome once again to the Lovespoon Workshop. Now this video is quite a special one for ourselves because, as some of you may know, every year here at the Lovespoon Workshop we make a special Love Spoon. Basically, the idea of this Love Spoon is to record what has happened in a particular year, maybe in the family, the wider world, or just something that we think is significant. So the idea of this video is to actually show how that Love Spoon was made. Turning our attention to what's actually on screen at the moment, this is the early preparation of our piece of wood. You can see us working with a jack plane, and it's a good method, traditional sort of method for cleaning up the piece of wood, so it gives you a nice surface to work from. The piece of wood itself is a piece of lime, flowering lime that we're working in. It's known as being quite an easy timber to work in, and some of the skills required in making this particular Love Spoon, they are quite technical, so it's quite a good choice for us to make our Love Spoon from. Once we're happy with our woods, we then have to focus on the design itself. So you can see what we've done here is to develop a design on paper first of all. We're drawing around that individual design to get that onto the wood, and we also use carbon paper. That's a good method for transferring more complex designs onto the wood itself. We are now happy with our design for our Love Spoon, and we continue with our preparation. So what you've got on screen at the moment is the cutting out of the Love Spoon. Now with Love Spoon carving, there's no rules or regs when it comes to the actual method that you use. So in this example here, you can see we're cutting our rough outline using a bandsaw. In total, our Love Spoon, we know it's going to take us over 100 hours to complete. So some of this initial preparation, where you're working with more modern techniques like the bandsaw, it can be invaluable in giving us extra time later on working with the hand tools. Another saw that we work with on a regular basis is the scroll saw. Now this gives you a much finer cut than the bandsaw, and this can be useful then for a number of different jobs. As always, our design for our Love Spoon to record 2017 is fairly unique. It's based on a theme of mountains, and what you can see us working on at the moment is cutting out a channel. The idea with that channel, inside it will have a seed carved, and that seed will be able to move right the way through the channel. We used a variety of tools for cutting out the channel in this Love Spoon, including saws, drills, and as you can see on screen at the moment, we're working with the hand tools. Cutting out the channel was definitely one of the bigger challenges in this particular Love Spoon. Quite a significant chunk of the time that we spent on this Love Spoon was taken up cutting out this channel. Now for those wondering why we're cutting out this channel, as we mentioned, our theme for this Love Spoon is based around mountains. Now one of the stories that we picked up on was to do with a Greek king by the name of Sisyphus. And the story, as we understood, he was a bit of a naughty king, and his punishment from the gods was to push a boulder up the mountain. Only problem was, as he pushed his boulder up the mountain, once he got it to the top, it rolled back down again. So the idea is our seed, it will run all the way round our Love Spoon, from the bottom to the top and back down again. So as you can see on screen, the Love Spoon continues to take shape. We're still working on this channel because it really is quite a big part of the design. Inside that channel, as we said, there's going to be a seed, and that seed can be used to represent not just the story of Sisyphus, but also the fact that we've had a new addition in our family, with Thomas the Woodcarver's fourth grandson and my son Samuel being born. So Samuel will be recorded on the Love Spoon through that particular seed. Other things then, as we mentioned, mountains being the theme, we put the idea in there. Every day sometimes it can seem like a mountain to climb, and every one of us, we all have our own mountains, big or small, that sometimes we have to climb. Another idea that we included in our Love Spoon was the idea of what is your purpose. Now, in our own work and in our workshop, we do have a few little purposes. We share a few beliefs through our spoons, and we like to share the Love Spoon tradition with the wider world. It's a lovely little tradition, and for ourselves, we feel that it's a bit of a purpose, is to share this Welsh 17th century tradition with the wider world. So one of the themes that we thought was relevant for 2017 was to ask the question of what is your purpose in life? Returning to what you're actually seeing on screen, we're back to using the hand tools, probably where we're most happy and most comfortable. And we've got our basic channel cut out using the scroll saw and the drills, but now we've really got to make that channel a lot bigger, and the only way we can really do that is by using the hand tools. So this is our focus now, is working on this channel so we can actually get that seed moving freely throughout the Love Spoon. Our seed and channel, those parts of our design are now complete, so it's time to move on. And the next phase that we're going to work on is the actual bowl of the Love Spoon. Normally on the Love Spoon we would carve quite a sort of standard oval shape for our bowl, or possibly sometimes we carve a heart, and over the years we have done a few other designs, including things like carving hands. On this particular design, we're going to make a feature of the bowl by putting a major carving inside it. And the carving that we're going to do is of two mountain climbers. Returning to our theme, mountains of course is the theme for our Love Spoon, and in this example we've got one mountain climber assisting another mountain climber up their particular mountain. What's the idea behind that, some may think? Well, in life sometimes we're in a position where we might be able to assist somebody else up their personal mountain. At other times we may find ourselves in a position where we need assistance to climb our mountain. So that's the idea behind it, is to show how in life we find ourselves at different stages of our own personal mountain climb. As you can see on the screen, as the Love Spoon progresses, more and more of our time is taken up using the hand tools. So whilst in the early stages you can use some other methods to speed the process along a little bit, later on the focus has to be done using the hand tools. So with the hand tools, what we're actually doing, we're getting the depth of the carving. So we're carving out the bulk of the wood, the bulk of the bowl that we don't actually need. Getting a basic outline of the design, and then later on, as you'll see in the video, we'll be working more on the individual details, bringing out the actual individual character of the two people climbing up the mountain. This particular video has served as a good reflection of how we make all of our Love Spoons here at the Lovespoon Workshop. because as you've seen from the video, in the initial stages you can use some modern methods, things like scroll saws and drills. But as the videos continued, you can see that the majority of the time that we spend on the Lovespoon, as with all of our Lovespoons, is spent using a variety of hand gouges and hand chisels. We briefly touched on it earlier in the video, and that's the issue of the wood itself. Now in this case we've used a piece of lime. Now that's not the fruit lime tree, it's the flowering lime tree, and that's a broadleaf lime. It's a lovely timber to carve, it's one that we do use here. We use quite a wide variety of timbers. Lime is regarded as easy carving, so often it's recommended for beginners. When you're doing a project like this one here, it's ideal for cutting out the channel, for carving the seeds, for doing the feature carving. It is a timber that carves well. But what we always say, anyone who's looking to get into carving, good timber to start with is lime, but try other timbers, because sometimes you'll find that you may be suited to other types of wood. Now this little section, one of my favourites in the video, because it shows that both father and son, we managed to get working on this Lovespoon at the same time. Quite often it's not possible because the size of the Lovespoon is just too small, but because of the size of this particular Lovespoon, we were able to do a few hours work on the Lovespoon together. At this stage, most of the work has been done, but what we're working on is actually shaping the Lovespoon. So most of the difficult jobs have been taken care of, but you've got to get your finished shape for your Lovespoon. So you can see us using various tools, including a spoke shave, to get our final finish on our Lovespoon. So there you have it. That's our completed Lovespoon to record 2070. The seed will now roll right the way around the chamber itself. Doesn't move easily, but it does go. But that job of pushing that boulder up the mountain, it wouldn't have been an easy job. Here you can see it's in the middle of our collection on display here at the Lovespoon Workshop. And it's in amongst the collection. We have one Lovespoon for every year since 1969. We hope you enjoyed our video showing how we made our Lovespoon for 2070. If you want to know what we're up to on a daily basis, you can find us on social media, and there are other videos that we've got up recording the making of other Lovespoons. And we'll be back soon with a few other videos for you to enjoy. But thanks again, and thank you all for watching.